right? When they just acquired Faye, they acquired Jeremy, and they really didn't know what they kind of wanted to do with themselves. They went back on this very, as you mentioned, basic or OG kind of comp, and it has worked quite well for them because it does force or let the team focus more on just playing the game and not really over complicating things with a lot of utility. You just have these straightforward utils. If you need it, you use it. If you don't, you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. And we did talk about that identity crisis. It does look like now they want to start swinging. Blurred has found himself behind Flippy, but Flippy is a little too sharp, a little too aware for a young gun. But Jeff, the ever so aggressive controller, takes a space, takes ropes, but Kakarot has found himself in hell. Ja is going to be on his lonesome trying to fend this off, but Pro is very, very quick on the backup. Ja gets 2. Pro finds the last in Kev's. And the SBE, they make a good case for a first round.
Yeah, blind relay ball's not really favoring Blurred at the moment. If he tries to actually get that, if his opponent's not really near enough for him to dash and punish, or slide and punish, excuse me, it's really not going to find any value whatsoever. And then the panic play there from now is just not really working in their favor. This is where SBE just really likes to play. I believe Split has been somewhat their baby in some of the matches that they played because, especially when on the defending side, this is the map where they can just do the very slow, methodical process that they wanted to play. Whether it's this kind of composition or the composition where Ja played the Reyna, it still, as you can see, kind of works. That being said, it is still also round number 1. I'm speculating too much on this, but it's a good start for SBE regardless.
Well, truth be told, that's all we can do. We can speculate. It is the first day. I think this could be a potential litmus test for South Build also, because we know them as one of the most disciplined teams, if not the most disciplined, and they love to flex their, well, mostly superior fundamentals on most of our teams here. I wouldn't say Naos is one of them that you can say that they're a clear cut above. But them playing this super defaulty style right now, I think they're poking and prodding on Naos. They're waiting for Naos to create some sort of overextension, maybe get a little too creative, and maybe potentially play into the hands of South Build.
The thing is, they don't really have to play into the hands of Naos because they have Papichulo on that camera, right, with a Cypher. So if they can have that camera for him, it's going to be very easy for him to just get that information. They're just cutting off all of these sneaky little rotations. Aziz, beautiful shots, needs the help, but he actually bumps into Pro. They do get the refrag, so it's going to be good regardless. They do lose Flippy Aziz in the process. No picked up weapons on the side of Naos. Actually, never mind. Z actually picks up the Spectre here, but he's incredibly low on this one, Raph. He tries to go into Be Heaven, and they try to rush into the site. 14 seconds remaining. There would be absolutely no chance for them to actually plant this safely, especially when Ja is still holding onto the lurk. He has the paranoia. Oh, there it is. Gobbles him up with the darkness and gets up the nice little 2-piece. That's going to be SBE, but a clean enough round on the second.
And they do look like they're going to try and build a commanding lead here. We are going to hit the bonus. So now they do have a very, very fair chance of taking this momentum before it actually builds itself up. South Build, they might want to play this a little closer in terms of range because they are going to be stuck on vastly inferior weapons here. Did love the composure from Ja. Knew he was getting swarmed. The idea there was now, let's just do some eco damage. Let's just force an upgrade, but that was not meant to be. Now, does look like South Build not really changing anything on that defensive line. Now, on the other hand, it does look like they're going to go for a bit of a pick and pop play style here. They are going to go for that buddy trade system with a lonesome chamber alongside A.
I'm kind of curious if Blurred will play this this Neon the same way that I've seen other Neons play it, where relay ball is used more for punish play rather than it is to clear out certain angles. Well, maybe it's much better to use it for clearing angles on Split, but I am curious how well he can use the relay ball for that kind of punish way, right? Because if you can do that, you can just sprint up, slide in, get the kill. It's a freebie, but again, they can't really overextend their margin here because Papichulo is on that Cypher still. As you can see, now is playing the very slow, methodical process here, Raph, of just clearing out everything that Papichulo had around in the map. Gives them a lot of free space on mid, and now they have all of this freedom to just choose where they want to go. Paranoia to delay even further. 30 seconds. They can still decide to go for A, but now they really wanted to commit on this B side. So many flashes being thrown out as Pro blinds the rest of the squad. Coming into B heaven. Here comes the rest. Cavs and Jalicious coming through onto Garage, pinning down the 2. There's still the 1. Flippy still onto the side. He can still make some damage, which he does. 20 seconds, 2 versus 3. Attackers do have the numbers. They will not know the Papachulas right there. Backs away, and they have to pick up the spike. This is so bad for now. Z's only one to remain. He has to go right now. Plan it on default, but Papachula timing, and he will get it. Obviously, you know he's going to be able to pick that one up, and Papachula saves the round for SBE. The bonus has given them another one.
And that is a bit of a heartbreaker for now. So it did look like they were kind of edging out that utility shuffle. They did get those opening picks. But once again, the discipline by Southbuilt, I would want to go back to your point that they want to use that relay bolt to somewhat punish an overextension. But I feel like that's kind of playing the matchup wrong, knowing that Southbuilt is a team that would just love to hang back. If they're given the chance to 5v5 retake, they'll take it. And so far, Naos have not really cracked that defense open as of the moment. Now they are on a hindered by once more on an eco. We know how cracked they can be. We know the damage they can do. But so far, Southbuilt, they are a little too suffocating at the moment, and they've been absolutely perfect in these first 3 rounds.
I'll argue that the composition
No, you won't.
from Naos...
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. I picked Naos, okay?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I picked Naos for my prediction, right? But right now, the comp that I'm feeling for them feels a bit too constricted in the way that on paper it seems like it's perfect. There's so much crowd control, there's so much things that they can use to flush out corners, but it's also kind of hindering Blurred to get closer into the fight because he has to be aware that he could get hit by his own teammate's fault line, get hit by his own teammate's flash, and basically hit by his own relay bolt. So there's literally a lot of Naos landmines that Blur has to be very aware of. Yeah, exactly, avoid. So it's making it, I think, difficult for him to manage things like that. So now they're just going to go for the straight line onto the side, but it's going to be difficult because they don't got no wall to stop them. Papachula and Flippy, the tandem splashing outside of B Garage, and only Kakarot to remain in this 1v5.
Absolutely, and once again, a very, very difficult situation. Kakarot, he has to power up, or he needs a miracle, but it does look like this is yet another round in the bag for SBE, and I like the way that you put the utility of Naos in the spotlight, or rather under a microscope, because we see the idea, right? We see a lot of CC, we see a lot of concusses, and a lot of space taking, but the question here is how will they execute it that Blurred can properly capitalize on it, because we know Blurred, he's an excellent duelist. He's honestly one of the most disciplined as well. We see him take the proper space, but he never really overextends. And I think Southbuilt, they understand this. They will go for those forward positions that Naos have not really figured out yet. It is a very defender-sided map, so maybe halftime comes, we're going to see a different story, but it does look like this time around we're going to change up the tempo, we're going to speed through, but that Papi Chulo trap is going to find one with Flippy getting traded out. Blurred will find a kill, Kevs will find one as well. Papi Chulo, he holds strong. They still have this other side of the site, and now they can't seem to cross. They have to expend that Rolling Thunder to get some sort of semblance of control. But now Nja and Papi Chulo, they try to reunite. They try to go for a pincer. Kevs will get that plant. The paranoia will come out. The cage is still in the pocket of Papi, but no need, as the gunfights will go in the way of Southbuilt.
Okay, props to Naos. That was, I think, much clearer than what we were anticipating. Because I was going to go back to the point that you mentioned with the map, right? Because this is split, I think it very much is amplified how you're going to get punished if you make a mistake on how you set up your utils. And that's what we kind of saw for the past couple of rounds. This B take, much, much better. But again, they still haven't yet answered the fact that they got to clear that Cypher trap. They just got to clear it. That is an insta-kill for one of the players of SBE as Naos comes into the site. That's what we saw immediately there. And then, of course, with all the delay tactics that SBE has, Naos couldn't really find anything. And somehow, I got kind of curious. You mentioned how the Rolling Thunder was used very prematurely for Kevs. That was because he had to pick up the spike that was dropped somewhat outside or away from the default plant spot. So he had to expend it when he could have actually used it maybe for another fight. But because he was afraid of where the rest of SBE were kind of hiding at, he had to at least make sure that he got the chance to plant it up. But SBE still had some great utility to retake, especially that paranoia from Ja. And speaking of Ja, this is a player from SBE. We keep talking about how Naos can do this, Blur can do that. But on the side of Southfield Esports, Ja can play absolutely phenomenally on whichever agency he's picked on, whether it's controller or a duelist. He just makes it work to a next level degree.
Yeah, it's very clinical the way that he approaches the game. He does have a very firm grasp of and a very fine understanding. But hey, I never said anything about that rolling thunder, you know, coming in prematurely. I don't know, man. Seems like you might be But anyway, I'm not gonna throw that many things this early on in the cast. It does look like Blurred. He does find a little bit of space in that Astra smoke. We'll take... oh my goodness, that is a considerable amount of damage. He is playing a little too close to the fire here, as Heaven may look like a perilous quest for Blurred. He has to back out. That bot might find him. He does empty his frenzy just a tiny bit to stay alive, but his team, it is just too far to support him. They are, however, pulling so much attention away from this mid position, but it seems that they can't really crawl up effectively. They're just too wary of the aggression and all these duels that Southfield have been winning.
I mean, even if they pull out the attention of Southfield towards that A site, look at who's defending on B, the double sentinels. Cypher Trap and Slow Orbs are aplenty. So if they find any heat from Naos in that part of the map, they can always just throw utility to delay, and then the rest of SBE just comes in for anything. Nice little cheeky angle. That'll give up the 2-piece for Aziz. He has so much utility to delay us even further. And the aftershock, let's see the punish. Beautiful from Cavs, but damage be done. He's lost teammates, no control on the A site, and the paranoia delays even further. The lurk from Delicious spotted out, and Cavs left on his lonesome on an island, and this island will immediately be taken down, boy.
Well, now we do have that magical round number 7 where typically it does take teams that amount of time to adjust accordingly on the offense. But Southfield, they've been mixing up the bag very, very well. They're making very minute adjustments, just player positioning, utility timing. That's been kind of throwing off Naos. We will finally see another gun round on the board, but we are going to hit a bit of an economy reset on Naos if they manage to, or at least have the misfortune of dropping this round. SBE, though, they go for yet another default. We see Pro throwing out that guiding light, but Blurred, undeterred, throws out that relay dart, and will get stopped temporarily by that Astra utility. Now he does have a firm, or at least he's planted his feet towards Heaven. No players on the side of SBE to be found, but do they know? Kevs is here. Kevs is the one that gets caught. And that is going to be an early pick on the south, rather on the side of Southfield.
Ooh. Yeah, they gave away all control of that B Heaven, but it's fine because now there is literally no pinch for Naos coming in to that garage. All they can really hope for right now is that maybe Heaven is going to give them a little bit more solace. Suppressed because of the null command is perfect here because now Aziz can't really do too much. So Kakarot, being the hero of this particular round, from that one ultimate of his, gives no options for Southfield to actually defend the site. If you knew, if Aziz just had any of his utilities, he could have delayed, he could have maybe punished. The Pain Chills was there, I think. The Showstopper was there, and this would have been something. But all that said, it's a 3 versus 4 on the retake. Flippy, Poppy, and Pro all colliding here, or conversing here on B Heaven. No one's going to be on the flank here right now. That's a big mistake.
A bit of a
see how this
mistake
goes.
indeed. As they do want to go for this retake, Flippy gets Jeb, but no, it's actually an even trade on both sides, and the execution on Southfield finally gets adjusted too. Doesn't check his corner. Blurred will finally take down Papi Chulo. I think the idea there was to set up for the neural theft, but as I mentioned, Asterai, it is that magic round number 7 for the attacking team to adjust, and just like that, Naos gets their first round on the board.
That was perfect. I thought Naos was gonna, again, kind of botch this round, but they brought it all the way back. And I gotta say, again, I'm gonna go back to it. Kakarot definitely won them that round. That null command of his just absolutely demolished any form of retaliation that Southfield Esports could have made to interject what Naos was trying to do. Now the relay ball on the close. I like how now Naos isn't really thinking about how to utilize Blur any more than just him running and dashing or sliding into the sites. He's using the relay ball just for a little bit of more map control, but other than that, he has just been used to kind of die as he entries, but it's been okay. Like the refrag game for Naos has been pretty spot on. A little bit of noise on the A site, but they start to back away. This could actually be bad for Flippy. The timing on where he is on the V box as members of... I will not...
Don't, yeah, you know what? Let's just leave it at that. You know, I love the way you point out that entry is basically being a glorified recon dart or being a glorified flashbang, and sometimes that's just the way it is. But this time around, it's actually Flippy that is the first to fall. We're not going to see any of that Sage utility for the remainder of the round here. And it does look like South built. They are going to reel just a tiny bit. They are going to play a little more passive here as Blurred and the rest of the boys on Naos. They will finally pop that Cosmic Divide, take as much space as they can. Finally enter B with absolutely no resistance, but this could potentially be a trap in the making. Ja has already clawed his way towards Garage, and Blurred has no idea. Oh, that is truly unfortunate.
Yeah. I kind of wonder what's the dynamic for Naos when they get that, you know, the defending side. Still, it's too early to tell yet. Kakarot, if he throws out the blade, it will kind of show technically where he is. Jalicious. Okay, good little fight. He gets moved up by his own teammate, but this does give maybe a little bit of fighting chance for them. Where is that spike planted down? It's all the way to the back of the corner of the side. 2 versus 2 now. Defenders still yet to actually claim any form of map control here. Aziz gets the fight. He can actually go sneak by in. Kev Simov does not have an aftershock.
No time.
But is the time for Poppy? No, no time. Oh, okay. I thought Poppy could have maybe snuck up onto the A side. I could not hear what the spike duration was anymore, but maybe he could have actually just gone straight in and have challenged for the defuse, but not going to happen. Now they're using Blurred as this distraction tool, and it's slowly working. They get that 6-2 in this round.
Truly, Kevs is the most uplifting teammate, both literally and figuratively, you know, but maybe that was a little too extra. Yeah, he's an absolute sweetheart. Now, they do look like they are mounting. They want to get this round lead away from South Build and try to control the snowball before it gets too crazy. Although the rounds that they've been winning, barring that first, have been a little too dicey. The retakes on South Build still look incredibly impressive, but now, so you know how they are. They can just explode for whatever reason. They still take a forward position. Poppy will find the initial fight, and trades go left and right. Z has to win, but no, it's Pro. Experience trumps the cracked aim of our young gun here, and now it's a 2v2. Both Kevs and Kakarot, the Wonder Duo, they are forced to reposition, as once again, B has proven to be a very, very difficult task at hand.
Oh, that is perfect. I think Ja didn't hear the rotation coming into mid, and this splits him and Pro apart. But obviously Naos don't know where they are. But this is still perfect for Naos because this would mean that their fight is going to be a 2 versus 1. That being said, they're still going to have to peek all of these angles as they try to claim a site. But they do have the time to make it work. 40 seconds is plenty if they're going to try to catch off Ja here. Oh, he got spotted by the blade. Oh, no. All the thing that they need to do now is just peek him. They spotted him come back into the corner,
timing.
but he doesn't get stunned by the fault line. And Ja still gets the 2K. Absolutely masterfully played by Ja there. What?
Ja has been the abyss of Naos. They look at him and they flinch. He is the all-consuming darkness. At the moment, so far, they have not solved that problem whatsoever. These trades have gone beautifully for both sides. And I honestly thought that Naos had the upper advantage here in the utility shuffle, but look at that. Ja with a beautiful movement and, of course, being completely unfazed. Now we have a bit of a lead once more being built up. And it does look like South Build, everybody is firing on full cylinders. Naos, not typically the form that we're used to.
Could be the composition as well, because usually you kind of want to see a raise on split, right? It's the same thing with Bind. She's kind of the queen of this particular map. You gotta say, shout out to all the queens out there.
That's right. I think everybody sees your Twitter. You just can't take that on broadcast, man. You just gotta relax, buddy. I'm just saying. I know you are a bad boy with the
it's-
ink, with the muscles, and all of that. Now the mini bun. His brand
It's not
is really
correlated to that whatsoever.
exciting. Are you sure? Are you absolutely certain? As we go back into this round, it does look like Z had a chance to take away Ja, but Ja, ever so playful, will get tagged up, but nothing too much to deter him from holding onto this side. Blurred, however, has snuck or found a gap in the defense. Flippy will just make him know, hey man, this isn't free. You can't just walk in here. He has to burn
30
that
seconds
wall
left.
to somewhat create a mix-up for Flippy, but nope. Undeterred once more and unshaken is Southfield as they hold on to this defense.
There's still utility from Aziz to delay even further, and he has the crossfire with Papichulo here. Pro has spotted the rest of them in 13 seconds. They're just gonna waterfall into basically a free fire for Southville Esports, and there it is. No time, not even a single kill picked up by Naos here. And Southville, yeah, the announcer said it already. A flawless round for them as they pick up all of these juicy ult charges coming into the final 2 rounds before we end the half.
I bet you would love a juicy orb or two. But anywho, on the side of the game,
It's
again,
called an orange juice.
hey man, I was talking about ult economy. I know it is a very sunny
okay.
day. What did you have in mind? Again, well, let's not get into that because once again, Asarai and I have had the chance to really connect these past few days. It's been a very holistic experience. Unfortunately, it's been incredibly holistic. It's been incredibly wholesome. But Naos right now, they still need that new page in their book because the lead is still ever so commanding on Southbuild. However, this is not something that we're strangers to, especially on Split. It's typically a pretty common round split. But once again, Naos, they just don't want to feel that sting of losing map 1.
Well, you know, back in the day when Split wasn't reworked whatsoever, similar to I think what you had with the old school Nuke, was it from CS, right? From CS:GO. Having like maybe a 9-3, an 8-4 is already pretty ideal when you're gonna be on that attacking side. You really just see the difficulties that Naos has with how they try to attack. But somehow, this is looking incredibly clean from them, Raph. All right, Blurred spotted out the first pick already on Ja. This opened things up, but immediately the back control on B Heaven was supposedly almost there, but Kevs picks up the 2K. Now, if Pro can get the kill here, he will have the Seekers. This will at least show up where the rest of the other squads are, but Blur somehow wins the fight. Papichulo does not. The double peek comes out from Naos, and okay, never mind. It's good. It's clean.
In the half.
I think that was an interesting sequence there towards the Heaven. I'm not entirely sure what the game plan was there, but it did seem like they were kind of popping in and out. I feel like they had a little bit more utility or just a little bit more patience. They could have waited for another guiding light on the side of Pro, but he even had the cabbages ready. His cabbages! But it was not meant to be. We are getting ever so close to that half. We do see some sort of semblance of life from Naos. Those wings, they're yet to fully really spread out and really take them to the heavens. One more round would be a fantastic bonus for them as 8-4 is much more doable. But then again, a lot of our players here are very, very superstitious. Let's give them the 9-3. The 9-3 curse is real. Come on, guys.
There.
Have I ever shared to you what the Valorant voice is? Or the Valorant accent?
No.
Okay.
There.
I'll share that to you later. Anyways, back into the match here. Last round into the half. There was a lot of picked up orbs here for Naos. And I gotta say, out of these 3 rounds, one of them was, again, picked up by Kakarot as he used that null command. So I think the play right now for Naos is to kind of clear utility, make sure they know specifically where Poppy's Cypher tools are, and they can go bully maybe that particular site if they do want to. It feels like it's just Naos kind of feeling things out first, trying to make sure that they have a certain picture coming into this one. And you are seeing something like that happen right now. Kakarot and Blurred. It's going to be a perfect mix, but Z's pickup onto Flippy is absolutely gorgeous because this would open up maybe the possibility of that B side. That being said, Ja will not be phased. He will still go for the push here. Blur has to go through with this one, but there is still so many defenders in 30 seconds. They've caught... I don't know. This is absolutely not going to work, isn't it? Because Poppy's still here. So...
A lot of questions.
6 seconds. Nah, it's absolutely not going to happen. Aziz is already there. If they actually stop him... They still do. Okay, never mind. The clutch pursues, and Cha is left into a 1 versus 3 with 9 HP. How did Naos still make this happen with Z hitting every single MVP shot of the round with his Sword of Force?
I'm glad we've finally seen Z. He was relatively quiet for most of the game, but once he shows up, he really makes a very, very big splash. His impact was definitely felt in that round with the Tour de Force. Absolutely, well, basically rolling every single person that it came into contact with. And now, so they make this very, very possible now. We are going to see them on the defender side. I feel like they might have a bit more of an aggressive approach here because they have a very, very contact-oriented Sentinel in the form of Chamber. They have the flashes on the side of Breach, and they have a very aggressive space-taking duelist. Alongside the signature KO and the Astra. So that's going to be a lot of utility that they can throw out to maybe potentially stop South build even before they can set up.
But it does seem it's more of a punish comp, right? It should have been a punish comp on the attacking side, but because of how far back, laid back SBE's comp was, it gave not really a lot of chances for Naos to really showcase that part of their agent lineup here. And well, as we are looking into the beckoning eyes of this random turtle head on Split, is it a turtle or a tortoise?
How am I supposed to know that? Can we tell by the beak? Is it like, because you know it's typically if it's big it's a tortoise, if it's on dry land and the shell's bigger it's a tortoise, but you know turtles typically they're a little more amphibian. Why were we talking about turtles again, guys? Save the turtles, don't use straws. Like
that's true.
Crabs, peak evolution. So we have a bit of a half.
Oh, I was just gonna say this is a. Have you played League of Legends before?
Why would you ask me such an... Look, man. Look, I love the jet spray. It's just the timing is just amazing.
No, legit. Okay, every League of Legends player would know who that is.
Is the Scuttle Boy.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Taunty. Scuttle Crab on the river in Summoner's Rift. Or if you play the mobile game, the Wild Rift, it's I actually don't know if it's still there.
Is his name Robert on Wild Rift? Is he not the Scuttle anymore, or is he William? But
Taunty.
Anywho, we
Scuttle
are
Crab, Taunty. Anyways, go.
As I mentioned, they are gonna go for a bit more of an aggressive comp here. Aziz getting a little bit of a love tap on the shoulder by Blurred. Hey man, what's up? I'm in Ramen. Let's grab something. I'll find the frag. They find a second on Flippy, and it seems the scramble has begun for South build. They look confused. They look dazed. As suddenly now they throw a haymaker of the ages. Poppy Chulo and Ja, they have to recover whatever they can. But with a force that is as healthy and as strong as Naos, this is looking quite dangerous for them.
Well, they can isolate some fights here because Blur is a... The smoke makes me second guess a little bit. Look at how many of Naos is already expecting that somebody's going to peek out of their own spawn here. I almost like swallowed something from that fast play from Blurred. Wasn't really expecting that it was going to be at the second pistol that the punish comp for Naos was going to just exude exude brilliance already. And now we're left to Ja, who's already spotted out in the open in their own spawn. Blur picks up the 4K. It's not going to be the ace, unfortunately, but you know what? They'll pick up what they can get, and it's an absolutely brilliant second half start for Naos here.
I'm not going to point out what you said, but you have such an interesting vocabulary at such, you know, early phase of the day. But we did talk about how aggressive this comp can potentially be. Really is up to the execution of Naos, which has been a bit of their trademark now. They've been dabbling with super high execution comps such as this one, and it's worked out. I feel like this swing is definitely going their way, but now that they're taking the Bulldogs, it seems that they kind of want to play this gun advantage. It does look like they're going to default a little bit harder, play that range a little bit better, and South Built, they might be left with their hands on their head, just scratching. What are we going to do now?
Well, a slow play a day keeps the Valorant doctor away. Oh,
You
Jessica
just saw
spotted.
him play though. What's up, man? Pay attention.
Well, he is away now because, you know, it's the second series of the day. So
That is true. The slow play
What
is
up? What
really
up, son?
What up? And the slow play does keep the doctor away because we know Action PH is one of those super high octane teams. You know what? That's very clever, Aster. I put that together for you. I know you said it, but now I'm making sense of it. As Naos and SB, they still try to figure out this puzzle. The rifle is still very much intact, but the timer, it's slowly chipping away. And Naos, they're very, very comfortable just to lay back, just to let SB do whatever they can with whatever weapons they have. And the read that they don't have a force here, I think it's absolutely confident on the side of Naos.
30 seconds
You'd
left.
think that Naos don't have that slow kind of comp to utilize, but they actually have. With all of the gravity wells that Jalicious has. That being said, he got flushed out with the paint shell. Say goodnight, Jalicious. Giant Bro gets the 2K, but they can't actually bring the spike all the way to the side itself, so no play will be had. The smoke a little bit too late, and Pro is running for dear life. Bobby Jula comes in for the flank from behind, but do they spot out Z? Coming from the corner here,
Oh my.
gets spotted. One more second, gets the spike planted down. It's a 1 versus 1. Poppy's picked up the Bulldog. Ow! Oh, okay, never mind.
What was that?
It's a
PB
Bulldog.
howling
It's
on
own.
broadcast. I was just about to ask, do
I was-
bulldogs actually howl? I don't think I've ever seen a bulldog howl in real life. I think they're just those super adorable,
Okay.
you know. But
Okay, they just, like, you know, angrily rev their mouths or their jowls.
but they're so adorable, right? My question
Oh,
is,
yeah, absolutely.
how did that become so expensive so quickly for Naos? I feel like Southbuilt have achieved whatever they were trying to achieve with all that eco damage, nearly stealing that round away, but Naos, they still get that additional round on the board, and that lead is going to get cut into 2. But with that, they are suffering from a deficit in their armory.
I will say, though, oh, did that spot out Blurred? Oh, no, Blurred! Oh, he didn't spot out Flip, it actually crossing to the left side.
Oh.
It is absolutely horrendous. Kakarot is about to be a carrot. Oh no. Is Carrot gonna get plucked from the ground? Nah, he's good, he's good. He's fine. He's gonna live for another season of pickings. But
Yeah.
he is just 20 HP low.
It's-
One stray bullet, Raph. Just one stray bullet.
It's almost as if Toriyama had puns in mind to name the rest of the cast of his, I don't know, maybe kind of famous show that Kakarot has been so endearingly named after. But like you mentioned, that is such a big loss on the side of Naos. They don't have that aggressive space taker, that super cracked duelist to really reinforce those lines. We still have Z though, but he is looking fairly light on the utility and fairly light on the contact, as the rest of the Southbuilt boys, they might actually smell a little bit of trouble here with Kevs. He might get spotted out. He does. And Aziz, he looks, he checks. Nobody's pushed out. Z could have been the difference maker, the X Factor. But Flippy says no, denies
seconds left.
whatever chance he had to redeem. And now Naos, they are operating once again on very few weapons and very little HP on such a key piece in Kakarot.
They heard Kakarot actually move away. That's why they're working their magic towards the A site now. Kevs should have his fault line still up and running, and he just charges into the site. Oh
The
no!
time!
He brought out his flashpoint. He did not hear Jot TP onto the site. He just
What?
did not have the timing right straight up.
Oh my
and
gosh.
Aziz catches Jalicious coming through onto ropes. Got rung up on that one, and that was so perfect. So aside from the fact, Raph, that Naos got caught 1 by 1. All of the members of Naos that actually had the rifles died without anybody fighting for refrags or picking up the fallen weapons. So this was a fight that Naos would just have a lower chance of winning the more that the round actually persisted.
That is
if you think about
definitely
it that way.
Oh yeah, I completely agree. I think that's a round that they have to inspect much closer, and when they're on the drawing board again, that is going to be a bit of a highlight for their support staff. And looking at that too, I think South Built were just a second late on that plant. Had Jed just stayed alive, I think we could have stolen that round away. But again, the numbers and the you know, the micro adjustments, they're just too tiny sometimes to notice. But now we have Z on a very, very aggressive position here. Might get spotted out by the Trailblazer. Will not get spotted out by the FOV, but will get concussed with that bite. I think they might collapse on him. Z is very worried for this. He does have his rendezvous available to him if ever that's the case. He dodges the blind, but does not find anyone. Will manage to safely escape. And with a beautiful support from Kevs, he is going to be able to cross no man's land. And now we still have a bit of a game here with 45 seconds left in the round.
I forgot how long the fault line cooldown is. Maybe like 30 seconds?
It's usually an hour.
They're kind of
Maybe ask Ray and Taylor.
Anyways, I was going to say that because they know that the fault line is actually out, even to the Aftershock, there is no slow factor here. If they can take down the chamber, so no trademark will be had, but Aziz, what a 2K transition for him. They open up the site, and you damn well be sure that Naos is just going to go to the bank, invest their weapons for another round, wait for that ROI, because this time, they're not going to reap the benefits of that one. They just lost it straight up here, Raf.
Man, what an adjustment there by Aziz, and what once again, the utility shuffle on both teams have been looking far more impressive, especially considering their power levels in the previous stage. Again, guys, this is a rematch of our grand finals. It's not looking too good. Wait, I was about to say for our boys in blue, but they all have the blue in their jerseys and their colors. But now, so we know the heights they can reach. They have to soar high now, even though this is a bit of a save. But let's just go back to your point that the rifles were mostly unsupported when they did have them on a stifled buy. This is something that they can completely rectify and identify it now, moving forward with the next round, especially how SB is getting closer and closer to that map 1 victory.
It's only going to take them a couple more here. Oof. I don't know what's happening for Naos here, because they're kind of spread out with a composition that ideally should not be, right? I still go back to the thoughts that I had if this was Fracture, where Naos still needs to get that map control, because if you think about it, the only thing that they do get in terms of map control is the one sentinel that they have, which is on that chamber. Yeah, you could argue that with the initiators, why not just actually follow the word, the description of that agent, initiate even on the defensive end. Maybe they're afraid of the punish play for SBE here. There's a lot of factors, but if they play this slow game, you see how far Naos falls because of the punish play that SBE have actually shown in the past few rounds as well. So I think Naos needs to be a little bit more risky here, because right now their punish play really has very low impact.
So one thing that we have to take into account is that Z is absolutely monstrous with a tour de force. Fighting Aziz, reducing the numbers just by 1. But he is going to be enlisted back in action as Flippy is there to recover. But as I was mentioning, this composition on the side of Naos, it's a composition designed to funnel the fight in one singular lane. So far, we've seen Naos succeed doing that in the first round of this half. But have we seen them do it again? No, not really. And it's been hurting them because, like you said, they don't really have indirect utility that benefits them outside of a direct fight. We still have those flashes on both initiators. We still have that. Well, we have Blurred. He goes above and beyond, but Pro's there to quickly trade. But as I go back to my point, they have to fight. That's how they have to maximize this composition, because once again, such a contact-based Sentinel with a contact-based playstyle. Z finds yet another Aserai.
I'm sorry, I was freaking out here because he's not supposed to live through that second shot. Shouldn't have. He still gets it though. That's just gorgeous here for now. Still, with like 15 seconds, they were able to plant the spike. Flippy is a snake in hell as he is just waiting to bite off the heads of Naos as they come in bit by bit, little by little. He still hits the shot, and we're left onto Z. Now this guy, he's a crack shot. You saw him on the Reyna back then on his debut game with Naos in that one match on Breeze. But it's a whole different ball game here now, Raph. 3 versus 1, he has to back away. He's going to save this RGX Vandal. It would be amazing if he could save the Tour de Force, which is also
no, don't do it.
Feat of strength.
If you could save ammo for Tour de Force, I would absolutely go crazy.
Exactly.
But as we
I was just
mentioned-
saying, Raf.
Mhm, go
Sorry, I
ahead.
was just saying. Tour de force means feat of strength. And you know how I got this? I Googled
You
it.
Googled it. Amazing.
Exactly.
This man has divine control over technology. You move your mouse, click your tab, you Google it, you know. Something that a lot of people seem to, not be a master of. But Aserai here, he is the Googler. But okay,
Yes.
we get back into the game here. Unfortunately, we are gonna have, or not unfortunately, we still have a bit of an eco on the side of Naos that they can really get behind. But now they do take yet another aggressive posture, which I feel like they should be doing more. The utility combo is there, but Flippy finds one through the smoke.
How?
Yeah, that has to be a bit of a heartbreaker for him. That's gonna be a little frustrating too, but now is not the time to, lose your mental fortitude, as this has been reduced to a 4v5.
Man, there was a comment that we heard from one of the inside people in SBE. I'll just name him. Never mind. Yeah,
That's
never
an
mind said to
interesting name.
me. Yeah, I know, right? Nevermind said to me that he feels very confident with how SBA have been playing, and this starting game number 1, whether it's attacking or defense on split, and we've seen teams just absolutely get wrecked when the side switches on split, right? Looks so much better for SBE. We'll see if Naos can still bring it back, but like I mentioned, they need to go for that fight. They tried to do it before, at least at the start of the round, but it wasn't as clean as they were expecting. So much utility just being thrown out into B main, but look
30
at
seconds
how
left.
SBE have already gone straight onto the A side, but Z, timing, and as a cold Viper, he strikes, drops the spike, 21 seconds, and SBE should still be able to go onto the site, plant the spike, but at least they lose Flippy, which puts it into that 4 versus 4.
That retake effort is definitely going to benefit, but everybody is chiming in now. SBE, they fall like pillars of sand. But once again, the foundations, Papi Chulo and Ja, they hold strong. Kakarot in a 1v1 now with Ja, who's been, once again, the abyss. He stares once more, and the darkness consumes him. 12 rounds on the board for South Belt. One more to take map 1.
Man, everywhere Ja looks, he just has like that timing locked and loaded. I don't know if this man has been working in a clock shop, but he just knows how to work those gears, my man. Look at the defense on this one. Just torn asunder, torn apart by Southfield Esports. Kakarot also had the opportunity there, I think, to challenge Ja, or maybe... I don't think... Actually, no, I'll go back on that. I don't think he had actually the vision on Ja, even though it looked like he had. I think the POV just had gave the advantage onto the Omen of SBE rather than the KO of Naos. Now, final round possibly here for SBE. And, okay. The null command used just dissuade SBE just slightly as they try to push onto the side, because Aziz did invest his showstopper to get things started.
I'm still thinking about this composition from Naos. It does look like they really are playing off the raw firepower, and for good reason. Once again, we've talked about how they have one of the best trading systems and one of the most, how do I put this, fine timings in the game, but as of the moment, it hasn't really been the most consistent thing, as Aziz finds Kakarot. He caught him napping here. The Rolling Thunder will even be used to somewhat cage them in, but Kevs, they can't really capitalize. He throws a little bit more utility. Everything actually remaining only is 2 flashpoints. But Southfield, they still seem unscathed. 30 seconds left though. They have to make a move somewhere, somehow. And it does look like this choice has already been locked in. But Blurred, he is gonna stand unshaken. He finds one. He finds Pro. That relay bolt is gonna delay them for as long as it will. And it does look like Naos they have the upper advantage here. Position-wise, at the very least, Kevs with the Guardian. He holds strong, but once again, it's John Papi Chulo. They wreak havoc. They take the first map for South Build, and Naos they fall.
Man, I was so focused on Blurred. I thought they were going to be able to make it work, but Ja got the flank, and there was just so many players of SBE committing on that A-main push that I don't think Blurred just had enough bullets to deal with all of them just rampaging into the A side.